So I'm gonna explain a few concepts of leadership. Leadership explained in the eyes of Nadelchu Delia from Valhalla University is the group process involving the interaction of at least two people in order to achieve a goal. No, I look at that as the obvious um, concept of leadership. Obviously, you have to have a person that's leading and the people that's following. But I don't really believe that there's a flaw. No, actually, there is a flaw. The flaw is that leadership is broken down um, into way more intricate parts than just a leader and a follower. And we about to go over those parts. Um, the difference between management and leadership is that a leader is kind of in those front lines with you. When you think of the most common example that I could give that I feel most students will relate to is being put in a group for a group project with your other students, with your fellow classmates. And being put in a group, I'll say like 8 times out of 10, there's gonna be a group leader. There's gonna be a person that, reaches out to all the other students and gets everybody on the same page. They're probably the one that makes the slideshow and everybody else comes in and adds to that slideshow. So a leader, I would say, is on the front lines with you, whereas a manager is just a person that gives you orders in a sense, or a person that leads you verbally and less less so in a physical aspect. Now, the 4 approaches to contemporary leadership is transformational leadership, leader-member exchange, servant leadership, and authentic leadership. And the trait theory focuses on 5 major leadership traits of intelligence, of obviously just knowing what you're doing, and having the smarts to help those other people get on the same track. Just basically knowing what you're doing and being knowledgeable. Self-confidence, obviously being a confident person, because if you don't believe in yourself, how could you expect other people to believe in you and follow you if you don't trust yourself? Determination. Determination is a big factor because it shows that consistency. And if someone else, there's a saying, lead by example. And if you're sitting over there being determined, people will want to follow you because they see that you won't stray from the path that you're on, and you'll keep focus on what you need to do. And that'll just overall, if you're leading them, that'll just help them follow behind you and stay on their path too. Integrity, having integrity in everything you do, having those morals, not messing over folks in business, and just being a person with a good moral compass and with their head on their shoulders. They're down to earth. They don't feel like they're above a bunch of other people, and being sociable, sociability, being able to talk with folks, understand emotions. They'll say read the room, and just being sociable. Just being able to talk to people. Another part of the trait theory is the next part behind the trait theory is being charismatic. Now, I feel that this is the most successful type of leadership that we see today, mostly in things like movies and shows. If you think of a person like Captain America, obviously he's not the strongest, he's not the fastest, he's not the smartest. He's among those, but he's not at the pinnacle of each aspect there is to being a hero. But he's the most charismatic. He just has something within him that sparks something within other people that makes them want to follow him. So that's what I believe being charismatic is. Transformation is being able to go in a business, industry, organization, or whatever it is that's that's below where they want to be, and being able to transform that. And Transactional leadership is me being a leader and you being a follower, and you understanding that you will gain benefits from following me, and I will gain your following, if that makes sense. So transactional, I gain something from you, you gain something from me, and it's nothing more than that. Now, situational leadership, I believe, is just like it says, situational. I would say, like, for a basketball player, being able to go into games and when you're in tough situations, that's when you become a leader. Like, let's say adversity comes in a bunch of games in the season. There'll always be that one player that's the most positive, the most optimistic, that gets everybody like, yeah, you know what, we can do this. And just he's built for those situations, and those leadership qualities come out in those tough situations or in certain situations. The concept of power to me is just it matches with authority. Having power is like in the show I watch, the captain of a ship. He's not the strongest in the world, but he's looked at among the strongest in the world because of the people he has under him, if that makes sense. Those subordinates on the ship with him are just as, if not more powerful than him, but they're under him and they follow him, and that makes him powerful. So power is having things at your disposal, having things that helps you gain the edge over others, and not just having raw strength. Now, the 5 types of power is legitimate, and obviously we know legitimate is, like I just described, having people under you. Like you would think of legitimate power when you think of a king or a queen or somebody that can give orders, and those people that are receiving those orders, they're like, okay, he's up there and he's giving me the orders and I'm down here, and they recognize that you're above them. And I believe that's what having legitimate power is. Now, expert power is just in the name, being an expert, being knowledgeable, being intelligent, and just being an expert in whatever field it is to have people to follow you. Now, coercive deals with punishment. The coercive leadership is that leadership in which the people that are following you, they fear the punishment. They don't necessarily fear you, but they fear the negative consequences that will come with not following you. Reward is like transactional, kind of. You receive something by following them. You receive a reward by following a leader, and the leader receives their following. They receive whatever comes with that following, but it's like a job almost. Knowing that you'll get a reward from following someone else. That's like if you were being paid to vote. That would be a good example of reward leadership. So a person on the Democratic side, they're offering $1,000 for your vote. So basically, you're following, and you're getting $1,000 in return, and that's what that reward is. Referent or referent, I don't know exactly what it is, but charisma. And like I talked about, that charisma, that being able to tug on people's heartstrings, more times than not unintentionally. Being charismatic is a trait within you, to where you almost have a power to just drag people along with you and make them want to help you, even sometimes without asking for their help. And this leadership relates to authority. These type of leaderships relate to authority because, leadership, you can't necessarily have leadership without authority, unless it's a reward type leadership or reward system in which people think they're gaining something from you. You have power over them with the legitimate. You're an expert, or coercive, or charismatic, and all of those put you over people. And that's what authority is: being over others, and them acknowledging that you're over them. And therefore following behind you, making you a leader.